Hi. Great-grandpa used to play the harmonica. That's the key of F. Seems to open the heart a bit like the violin does. So this is a reading for the moon through the signs, but I suppose it could be for any time. So it's a mellow day, super mellow. So I feel like we should be really simple and look at this like past, present, potential future, right? Keep it easy. We're going to start with Aquarius, so let's look at the past. 9 of Pentacles. The present. High Priestess. And the potential future. Ooh, another 9. 9 of Cups. Well then. Oh, you'll be able to finally feel comfortable where you sit. You're finding your place, Aquarius. You're finding your place emotionally. This is settling something also through silence, okay? Right, a time to plant, a time to reap. Has a lot to do with Virgo. So presently, oh, it's so quiet. Okay, what is quiet? Quiet, there's quiet contentment, right? So let's look at this again. Let's start from the beginning. So in the past, someone here built themselves a place of physical comfort. Right? Did well with the responsibilities. Paid attention to their health. Also was going without certain things in relation to, like, in an emotional nature. They were going without it. And then something came in to bring something down. Because there's a bit of humbling here. Which actually creates like more grounded energy in how someone feels and where they're at. Again, potential future. Pretty happy. 9 of Cups is a quite contented card. So is the 9 of Pentacles, very contented. High Priestess is also. It's trying to find this contentment. Or perhaps what it is someone has now found, they found this in themselves. And now it's almost as if they're going to sort of sit and wait for something to kind of happen. There's secrets, though, in the present, a little bit. There's secrets there, right? But there's a lot of information there also, so it's sort of weeding through a little bit. Because there's no fire here, suppose there wouldn't be any need to push anything. This is not a thinking time either, Aquarius. This is a being in your body fully. That's really important right now. To be conscious in your body, okay? And quiet. Because I suppose there's things going on under the surface that are not necessarily known, and the only way to tap into them before they bubble up and do something out of what you want it to do is to sit with it. Be confident in that. I suppose it's also learning to trust happiness too. Like learning to trust yourself. Which therefore I suppose would be learning to trust other people. This is a person that's very satisfied with themselves. And someone is wondering how someone feels. How do you express your feelings? All right. Let's keep moving because I don't want these to be too long. I've been checking in on my energy lately and being really conscious of that. How much I got and what I can do. Next in line is Aries. Past we have 8 of Wands. Present we have 10 of Cups. Well then. And potential future 6 of Cups. Huh. I see this is a message from the moon, right? So there's a lot of communication with family here, a lot of communication with the past. I suppose in the future there will also be an apology, potentially, right? In this potential future. Oh, so someone thinks that everything's fine. How are you communicating about the future? Well, there's been a lot of communication prior, right? A lot of action, a lot of discussion, a lot of doing. And presently, I guess there's a reward for that. It brings things together in a really nice way. And in the future, it can become even sweeter. It's almost like, I guess how one talks about family too is, oh, this is trying not to make mistakes now so that there's no regrets in the future. So when you look back on the past, you're like, oh man, that was so sweet. You know, it's like trying to shift that energy. And it's squeezing out some kind of dissatisfaction or something that was stagnant. I just heard a System of a Down song. What is that? They like to push the weak around. Is that what it is? Oh, because we're talking about your own energy too in your body, right? How you slosh yourself around sometimes. Or, okay. Is that all we're supposed to say? Yep. Love you, Aries. 11:45. Let's look at Taurus for this moon past. 3 of Pentacles. Good job. Present. 4 of Cups. I saw that in Aries. And potential future. King of Swords. Okay, so whatever's a little funky, I see, go to Aries, watch Aries. So in the past, there's someone put in a lot of work here. They've been really chipping at it. It's slow, but it goes. And it's noticed. But it actually doesn't want to be noticed that much. Kind of keeps to itself. What they do is important to them too. But it's almost like presently, I guess there's a little bit, at least in this moon, allow this, I see, to come up if you are a person that tends to put your feelings down somewhere else. You know, hide them in your body or something, or you know, how you hide them through your job or your creations in some kind of way. Do you know what I mean? But presently, it's like someone doesn't want to do something. Or they don't feel worthy in some kind of way too. Maybe they just don't feel like it. They don't feel like it. So I guess in some ways there's some kind of like frequency, or how do I want to put that? There's some kind of I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Meaning something doesn't feel the same as the thing that it's connecting with. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference there. Knight of Swords. So you have earth, water, and then air potentially in the future. Well, there's a lot of clarity that a person that comes to understand more about what they do and how to communicate that, and feeling more confident in their decision making. Someone could actually also be doing really well in work as well. Like that connection is really good, but like the friendship connections, like true friendship or even like romantic loving energy, is lacking right now. And so I guess you have to ask yourself why. You have to ask yourself why. Ask yourself some hard questions in relation to friendship and romance. Regardless of what the situation that's going on, because there's something that's dissatisfying, or there's something, again, that isn't matching in the way that you want. Like, because it shows here that someone's really good at something. They're good at what they do. But I guess you're working into a different element of what it means to connect, you know? Like spending time with someone physically, but not being available emotionally, or being able to connect in these kinds of ways is going to interrupt the trust factor, right? So something to consider there. How people communicate about how they feel. And processing it as you go along. Okay, I want to keep moving. So Gemini, let's see past. Knight of Cups. Present, Two of Swords. And potential future Tower. If you're seeing anybody, don't cheat on them. Don't be blind to what it is that's going on. If you're in something dramatic. Oh, someone doesn't want to repeat a mistake. I think Aries talked about that too. Someone doesn't want to repeat a mistake. So, okay. In the past, someone found comfort in how they were feeling about how they were going along. They were starting to really believe in themselves. And gaining a different perspective on things, you know? And now in this present position, it's almost like someone's wondering whether that decision is still valid. I feel like there's some heavy thoughts here. It's like the mind in this present moment is overpowering the, it's trying to hold back. Oh, the mind has, I see for the last 2 years for some of you, held back how you were really feeling. Or you were kept picking up on it, but you kind of ignored it because you were like, I don't want something like that. I guess if one continues to ignore that feeling, whatever it is, it'll explode later. And it won't just affect you, it'll affect other people too. Interesting. This is also being conscious of how your relationships have played out in a romantic way, or in ways of love, and the choices that are made around relationships. Hi, baby. Hi, Zoomy Town. Whoa. If there is any romantic interest in this time, I would definitely, I'd probably say no. I would not pick it, because it'll do the same thing. Whatever it did before, whatever the decision is that someone's trying to make that has to do with the thing that's related to the past, if you pick it, it'll do the same thing that it did before. So I guess if you're, and again, we had to look at the negative here because the Tower's here, but like, say in the positive sense, it would be like, okay, back to this place where a person starts to believe in themselves and to believe in love and to walk with more faith. And there's some kind of question of that. This could be where this is like a spiritual, hardcore spiritual awakening, and or I guess we could take it as like a dark night of the soul is creeping in here. You can't, if you're in a stage where you know there's a big change, you got to kind of roll with it, but don't pick anything that would purposely be destructive to yourself. Okay? But I would say this would be kind of intense. Let's see about that. 8. So you can do it and work your way through it. Okay, that's all we're supposed to say. I love you, Gemini. Okay, so let's look at Leo. Past, Page of Wands. Okay. Present, 4 of Wands. Wow, strong. And potential future, Hangman. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to play this for you. Should I play it kind of Leo-like? I do love a Leo. I don't know what that song was. Okay, so so in the past, someone decided that they realized that it's they started to put some family things together, if that makes sense. Like maybe there was some kind of reflection into the past that was just really, really helpful. Some kind of, like, I don't know, even, I don't know if it was, yeah, I do feel like there's like this strong family awareness here. It's almost like this is also finding maybe creativity or skill set or some kind of inspiration through family to create something new, right? It's also like trusting in magic, you know, like they want to learn. You know, this is very open to learning. That's really cool. Okay, presently, Four of Wands. I suppose home is emphasized. This is something being celebrated for like a job well done. This is kind of an emphasis back up into the family energy. There's something important about that. Oh, I guess this is also when the child, maybe this is going back to when you were a child and recognizing that you're an adult now, right? Sometimes the inner child doesn't know that. Needs to be reminded. And then it's like establishing a new place. But you could also think about, again, like when you left home. Or when you've had to move. But I feel like it's almost like when a person leaves, they've matured to a place and then they have to leave, right? All children have to leave the family home and then go and make your own family, right? Make your own home. So maybe you just want to think about that time frame or something. Also, where you're at in your relationship. How is your marriage going? How are connections to family right now? Oh, there's also something about step parents here or something like that. There's multiple, because there's like multiple interesting. What is this about, Leo? I keep pulling this 10 of Pentacles. I do kind of see that too, where it's almost like a mirror into someone's job space. Like there's like security through one's efforts, which stabilizes and it helps you to realize what you have. I have to put a log on the fire, just a second. Do you want to see the fire? So this is being creative at home too. I would say try to look at some old photographs, or like try to connect with family in ways that, like, I don't know, realize your place in the equation. And again, whenever you left and whenever you created your own family home and where you're at now, it's like this will help you to put some things together. It's also help work have more like fluidity in it, like different understanding. Okay, let's keep going. Pisces. Let's see, Pisces, where you've been. 6 of Wands, well done. Presently, 9 of Wands. Oh, you did a little bit too much. Okay. And 6 of Swords, 2 sixes. Who had that? Aquarius, 2 nines. You have 2 sixes. It's your neighbor. Okay. So Pisces, well done on where you are now. There's been some kind of accomplishment in the past. But for some of you, you stayed up, you tried to, you forgot to come down and rest. And because of that, now you're tired. You may need until now and over the next few months to chill in some kind of way. Like restore your energy. Could be the next few weeks. It depends on how you, again, how deep this burnout is, if you will. And when I say this, I'm just talking about like a replenishment of energy, right? It needs to, yeah, there's 3 white horses here. Like, remember, this is a chariot year. You can't push it. Someone could also be comparing themselves to other people's success, or comparing themselves to what they did in the past. Like, oh, well, you know, oh, I did so well back then. It's like, well, okay, you can say that, one can say that, but make sure that it's a positive, like, wow, I did do a lot back then, or that was a lot that was accomplished, you know, something like that. Versus like, oh, well, I accomplished this back then, why am I not doing that now? You know, and if you are finding that that's the case for some reason in a logical way, then just be aware that energetically this is too much fire for you, right? You rolled by the ocean. You don't want the ocean on fire. That's too much. Yeah, you gotta ground and come back into, you want to get grounded in this time. You need to sit down. This could also be where someone's denying the path that how do I explain this? Oh, it'll affect your mental health if you keep pushing yourself energetically like this. But maybe sometimes that happens so that you can actually receive help or see who's on your team. It's like an unconscious test to other people. Do you do that? How did you get attention when you were a child? How were you rewarded for doing a good job? Also, when you were a kid, someone wants like an old spark back. 10 of Pentacles. It's like something needs to be polished, but someone's too tired to polish it at this point. Okay, let's go back to it. you've been doing a lot over the last, let's say 3 years, right? You've been doing a lot. A lot. I would also say with work, for some of you, this has been very much highlighted. This is also working through some mental, like, working through some karma, too. If you were conscious of that, where you're like, I want to do good, I want to do good, I want to, you know, find courage. Because this could also be presently, there's a little bit, sometimes this card is like a spiritual battle. You know, where they're like, it's almost like a person could feel guilty for being successful. Maybe. It's almost like where someone felt like I can do this, I can win. Something like that. They were allowed to win. And now it's almost like whatever that success feeling is, it feels like it's blocked right now. Or like the path is blocked. What's that about? Hermit. I guess one is meant to get off the horse and chill. Again, you can't push that horsey. Ooh, no, you cannot push that horsey. Okay? Remember that. Because you know what? This would be one of those things where the energy actually, remember, it's got to come back to you. You know what I mean? It has to be reciprocal. Okay, we're going to leave that like that. Let's look at Scorpio. Scorpio. Where you been? Okay. Big dogs. Presently. 7 of Wands. Scorpio. 5 of Swords. Potential future. Alright. It gets smaller. Look to Aquarius. Okay, so in the past, well, I guess you finished the cycle. We actually talked about this last August, 2021. So it's been a couple years, right? And now in this present moment, there's strength. This is a little forceful, though. It's a little bit trying to prove itself. It's trying to prove itself either to its... I think this person is just trying to prove it to themselves. I don't think they're even trying to really prove it to anybody else. And I guess they're just so grateful for what they have, because there was, in the past, they didn't have anything at all besides suffering. Right? That was it. And it's almost like someone's like, no way, I'm never going to let that go back to that. Actually, this is interesting. Pisces had 6 of Wands here in the past. You have 7 of Wands in the present. And we're in order, too. That's interesting. Okay, keep it moving. Scorpio. Okay, so we're something's minimizing, like becoming more refined, right? Oh my God, that's so interesting too. Okay. Let me focus. Maybe you have to tell yourself that. Like, I'm not where I was, and I'm so grateful. But since of the past here, what's showing up as an awareness point is suffering, right? This is all the things. Betrayal, cheating, and death, murder, all the, just everything you can possibly think of that's bad is in the past. Okay? What's cool is that is not showing in the future. But what that taught is something about what's risky or not, what's reasonable or not, what's right or not. Right? It was adjusting the soul, or adjusting the person. So the actions are different. So the communication is better. Right? So one stops hurting themselves too. And just taking it when it isn't deserved. Understand what it means to maybe deserve something, right? Deserve. To not be served with something, which is interesting, right? Like deconstruct. You're like taking things apart. Let's see a little advice on the Seven of Wands, because that's powerful for your energy particularly. It can be where a person's a little bit angry or a testy, you know. So I take a good 3 breaths, you know, to give it, you know, if you're angry, to go for a walk, go be quiet for a couple minutes, you know what I mean? If you can, take a half an hour break, and just 20-minute break and chill, you know. I mean, shoot, it really could be just a few minutes. I feel like you're really good at realigning yourself pretty quickly if you don't get stuck in your own loops, right? And mostly they're mental. But the cool thing about this is the more you come to believe in yourself, where you don't have to prove it to anybody, you don't feel guilty for who it is that you are or what it is that you do, because you know somewhere in there that you're not doing the bad thing, you know, or participating with that, then this allows you to speak your truth without worrying, and like be who you are without worrying about what other people think about it. Do you know what I mean? Because that could totally halt your own success too. Is by saying like, oh, it's too much to have all this good, you know. Or again, how did you deal with your ex-spouse, or your exes in relation to disagreements, like verbal, you know, where you have a differing of opinion, because this is also trying to trust people right now too, or building upon trust, you know, trusting yourself, trusting also like that there's karma, you know. I don't know how else to explain that, but just the fact of like we all are selfish at times, or angry, or wrong, you know, like no one's perfect. So it's, I guess it's a bit of admitting fault too. That's important, and I know sometimes it's hard with other people, like have them to do it, but just, I guess, try to understand your own a little bit, and this may help you to also settle something so that the expression is softer. Okay. The connections are softer and real, I see. Okay. Let's look at Sagittarius. Where you been, Sagittarius? Knight of Wands. Rather be somewhere else. Presently, Holy Devil. And potential future Hierophant. I like that showed up. Okay. That's pretty strong, Sag. You're the first two with two majors. You're the first one with two majors. The most majors. Okay, so in the past, this has to do with Capricorn, Virgo, Cancer, Libra. So some deep introspection to relationships and trust and the health of them, and the longevity of them, and how you feel about death, and how you feel about change, or like what's healthy again. Some of you have really done good work in going back into these places too. That Cancer Capricorn axis is strong. It's like all the family stuff, you know. If you've done some good introspection, I applaud you for that. In this moment though, I suppose there's something that's really strong that's scaring you a bit. You may feel tied to something that you don't want to be. Something's like can't be, it doesn't feel like you have the answer to something, at least in this time. And I suppose there's some kind of change that's happening that you're afraid of. It's another major. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There's a red horse, black horse, a white horse. Some of you are well aware of the diabolical nature of things, right? And so because of that, it's actually any of you also who have learned to be more natural in your solutions, more gentle in your solutions, without losing courage and your power. This will help a person to feel like for people to feel more secure in where they're going. Okay. I guess in the past too, you might have tried to do something that you did in the past. Like you tried something and I actually see that it was pretty creative, pretty brave. I would say it would be a time to be practical. I just went back to Scorpio energy, so this could also be a bit of like Pluto, if you know, it's like Pluto and Saturn energy. It's really strong. Well, the Chariot shows, if that was the clarifier for this shadow, then you will work through it. But that serenity prayer is really important. Okay? Should we say it again? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I guess if that is reiterated, and I do feel like there's something Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, which are 3 cardinal energies, and then Virgo. If any of those are strong in your map, I would say that this will help you to understand maybe a bit more of how to find more peace in something. You know, Hierophant has a lot of answers. He has a lot of keys to doors, but you have to be really loyal and dedicated and devoted. And understand your position in the situation, right? And you kind of have to follow the rules, but these are like your moral rules. You know, it's not man's law, it's God's law. That's different. And remember, prayer, you know, sometimes the devil is like a trickster, you know. It'll get you to think you're not good enough, or it'll always be whatever, or fear to just strangle. Fear can become so strong to strangle any serenity out of something, or even faith. So because you can't be in control of everything. That would be too much. That may be part of what's happening here too. Some of you are responsible for like all the material world things, and it feels heavy. There's something, there's like an obligation that feels really heavy. So don't forget to, I don't know, like go for a little drive, or, you know, realize that you can do a lot. But if anything is pushing you towards the past, remember that it's better to be in this present moment. If you start to worry about the past, or the past, there's like fear again, just try to be very present, like what you have, and even if you don't know exactly where you're going or what all the answers are. Okay? Okay. So let's see, Capricorn, where you been? Ace of Cups. Awesome. We need that through your energy. Where are you now? Emperor. That's very powerful. And potential future. You also have another double major. Okay. Capricorn. Well, I suppose there was, like Sagittarius, their contemplation had to do with their own action in relation to thinking about their interactions with other people. This is, you are more of the, how do I, like, interact emotionally with, how have I interacted? What do I want in ways of feeling? What is the status of love I see? Like, what does that feel like? There's definitely has been, in the past, has been this pouring over of feeling, right? A lot of it. It's cleansing something. It could be intense for some of you, even though it's very positive. It could feel, yeah, it could feel a little fast, or the water could feel a little hot. So just allow that, because these are also tears of joy, you know. They're tears of acceptance. It's like releasing. It's releasing control, I guess, is what it is. Now, presently, Emperor, that's pretty powerful. Emperor understands a lot because he has a lot of experience. He is always a bit concerned about the future. But what's interesting is he just wants to relax. He's like trying to figure out how to relax. And finding like what's important. to him, you know. He's like, what's that all about? He wants to know. He wants to know what that's all about. So it's almost like getting out of this heady place and allowing oneself to be a little bit more expressive in a different way. I keep hearing someone being like, what is this feeling? Like, what is this feeling? Or like, I want to feel like that. So this is an outpouring of love, right? It's there's understanding love a bit better. Like understanding your own heart a bit better. You know, like who you are and how you love, what love is. Realizing you're worthy of love, I guess. I suppose there's also been really strong energy with your 1st and 8th house. It's like 1, 4, 8. I also see Leo Pisces energy, which again is sort of like believing in love, or like feeling more confident in who it is that you are. Okay, and then we have potential future Temperance card. Well, that's really beautiful too. So you also have a huge, there's a change. It's like things are turning. Just like Sagittarius, actually, it's very connective here. Say I learn to build, or I teach how to build. It's you know, maybe the teacher becomes the student in a way. Someone is very loved here. They're so loved. They're so admired, but it's almost like this person is shy too. This Emperor is almost shy. He's like right now, this is your present energy. So this is presently showing a person that is observant, but they're not necessarily interacting yet. It's like they have to go into this, like they have to unearth something, or again, I see the words observe something. And maybe to be able to find what it is here, there may be something that's some slime at the bottom of the bucket. I see. So with Temperance, I like this. Temperance to me is a bit of, well, it's a virtue, right? It's almost like the Tin Man gets a heart. The Tin Man wants a heart, you know? But what does the wizard tell the Tin Man? He's like, yeah, I don't know if you want a heart. Those can be broken, you know? He's like, no, I want one. No matter what it feels like, I want one, because that's what makes it a human. You know, that's what makes you alive. So it could be for some of you where spirit is stirring up, is like combining things to have a more intimate relationship here too. It's all determined by what you value, though. By what a person values, what's important to them. And how they, like, their belief system, like, encourages or discourages the feeling space. Okay. We're gonna do Virgo. Both the Mercuries were on 7s. That's interesting. Okay, Virgo, hi. Let's look at where you've been. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, Capricorn had Ace of Cups. You have Ace of Pentacles. Where are you presently? Oh, Page of Pentacles. So you picked that puppy up. All right, and what's your potential future? Ace of Wands. Holy Virgo. Holy. Hold on. Oh, I'm not supposed to play it. Okay. I really wanted to, but... Alright, so... This is very... Oh, this is... Alright, that energy felt really nice that came in. Thank you. Alright, so in the past, there was an opportunity. And... someone decided to, like, run with that, right? They're like, yep, boop, started running with it, and then they're like, oh wow, okay, wait, I don't have to run anymore, I have it. I don't have to pretend like something's gonna take it away from me. It's there, I can hold it. And what's cool about it is that in and of itself is also something you can use for trade for other things. It's a very useful tool. It has like multiple purposes. You can use it for this, you can use it for that, you can trade it for this, you can trade it for that. So there's some questions here. It's almost like there's a lot of opportunity right now. And I suppose exchange to some extent, the potential. Someone's trying to figure out what they can do with what they have, I guess. But I see I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. This is also a step-by-step process. Right now, Page of Pentacles is about learning, right? He's the student. So someone's not finished with something yet. Because in essence, to be able to trade for this, for that, this person actually has to figure out how to turn what they have into this. And there's a timing here. It's like a teacher showed somebody something. They picked up on it. That gave them enough information to be able to be like, okay, again, got it. I don't have to run again. I have it. I don't have to grasp onto it so tightly. Not afraid to lose it. But then it's like, I keep seeing him saying, oh, teacher, what do I do now? Like, it's almost like, oh, you want this? And it's like, yep, again, I picked it up, got it, ran with it, and this has been happening for a while, right? But I also see that even though something has become more within your grasp, it's almost like it became smaller or condensed in a way. I suppose this could create some kind of refinement, like where you sort of chipped away, you're like, okay, I don't need all of this. You know, I just need this, and this is what's important to me. At least at this point in time, in relation to what you're wanting to learn, right? And now it's almost like, okay, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? And I see that there will be an answer in the future on what to do with it. Let's see, Virgo. Okay, so for now, keep working on it. Keep chipping at it. Focus. Focus. Try not to figure out what the answer is right now with exactly what you're supposed to do. It's more of putting effort in at this time. And have fun with that. Okay, whatever that means. Like, enjoy the process of where you're at right now. And I actually see in a couple months, maybe depending on when you watch this, I feel like this would be like April or like springtime. At least through Pisces time. So over the next couple months, I would just realize, okay, I heard I will know the answer eventually. I will understand more of what I need to do, you know. Eventually there will be, again, an answer. For now, focus. Because you can actually take instead of being like, okay, here's an opportunity. Do you want this? And it's like, yep, I do. I'll take that. And again, and then it's almost like you finally settle into it. If you were to trade just this for that, you'd still just end up with one. It's just like a different thing. What it wants you to do right now is the future is suggesting like, hey, yeah, you can do that. Trade one for the other. But what you also can do, if you want to take what you have learned thus far and like kind of tweak it a little bit and be like, wait, if this could be created in the first place and I arrived with this in my hands now, why can't I create this too? And you actually can take the one and turn it into this sort of infinite process where you're like, wait, I can make many of this, can be made in a multitude of ways. And with that, instead of just trading one for one, it's like, okay, maybe you trade, 3 for 3, and you still have 4 left over, which shows that you're stable and solid, you're thinking ahead. I hope that made sense. You know, maybe you want to look at because this could also be where someone's looking at a situation with a very like microscopic point of view. Again, where it's just like, well, it's only this is my only option. And it's like, no, you have many options, but it may take a little bit. Again, sit with something, take again what you've learned, and then create, because you want to take a wider perspective. Maybe that's why you need to wait a little bit, is because you haven't been able to figure out, like, you have what you kind of need to do it, but it's like, well, how do you want to do it? Okay, let's keep going. Cancer, where you been? 10 of Wands. I can feel that through your recent readings. I'm sorry, it'll get better. Let's see presently. That's right. Page of Swords. No, wait. No can do. No, I can't go for that. Nope. No can do. Okay, so wherever any of you have said no recently in the past, because you understand that it wasn't healthy for you and it would be too much to handle, you know, then you'll actually receive a really wonderful reward in the beginning, in the beginning of the future. So you may also be figuring out what causes your own stress also, which is a good thing. Now, I guess in ways, some of you could have been struggling with work, or just energetically you felt like it was just hard to do everything. I know not everybody's feeling this way, but we're going to talk, these readings are for the people who need them the most, right? That's what this is about, helping those who need it, not those who don't. Well, okay, moving along. Because you need help too. Right? Even the hairdresser still needs a hairdresser. Right? So something obviously was a bit heavy in the past. I could see that this could kind of be lingering for some of you, but there's some kind of information or communication that comes in that helps a person to clarify. Oh, I see. Just a second. Now, this may be a little extreme for some of you, but I work with collective energy on a regular basis, and it's a lot. So the point is that, again, those who need it, St. Jude, I love this picture. Look at him. Isn't he so sweet? St. Jude saved my life multiple times, and so I want to read this to you. And there's a part in here where you can make your own request if you are going through anything heavy right now that you just feel like you can't handle. Although you're coming to understand it, but it's like there has to be words that are said or something to help shift it. So it says, Most Holy Apostle St. Jude, faithful servant and friend of Jesus, we honor and invoke you universally as the patron of hopeless cases, of things almost despaired of. Pray for me, for I am helpless and alone. Make use, I implore you, of that particular privilege given to you to bring visible and speedy help where help is almost despaired of. Come to my assistance in this great need, that I may receive the consolation and the help of heaven in all my necessities, tribulations, and sufferings. Particularly, here's where you can make your request. And that I may praise God with you forever. I promise, O blessed Jude, to be ever mindful of his great favor, to always honor you as my special and powerful patron, and to gratefully encourage devotion to you. Amen. I only talk to St. Jude when it's real heavy, like real heavy. Scorpio could add a bit of that too, but apparently someone's really figuring something out here during this moon. And if there's been any confusion, I suppose one cuts themselves free of it and succeeds through this some way, somehow. And here in the potential future is actually a really beautiful relationship for some of you. It could be a new friend that comes into your life. It could be someone who understands you emotionally. There's great love here. There's also healing and love as well. It's people who have the same values. Do you know what I mean? They have the same ideas about what a hard day's work is, and they know how to talk about their stress, and they stop doing things like the hard way, you know, and find some sort of peace. And strengthen their heart. I would definitely say where any of you work a lot and you aren't involved in a relationship, or if your relationships are suffering, that is why. Like your emotional connections with other people is because there's a misdirection of energy. It's maybe going to Capricorn's reading could be helpful. Your opposite energy. You definitely figure something out here, though. it could also be where one of those things where, you know, you can't help those that don't ask for your help, okay? That don't want your help. And what's actually important here is for you to work on your own stress here, work on your own situation. You know, if you are overwhelmed with work, what is it that you can do to make it easier? Do you need to work on a schedule? Do you need to work out your schedule better? Are you putting too much on your plate? You know, how much time are you spending one-on-one with other people? You know, when is the last time you were intimate with someone or vulnerable? You know, things like that. That'll help your job. That'll help the whole situation feel a lot more stable and solid, okay? And maybe what it is right now is some of you need a bit of rest, too. Okay, last but not least, we'll do Libra 3113. Okay, Libra, where you been? Judgment, wowza. So waking up something, huh? Presently. 3 of Cups, good. And potential future, 7 of Swords. What's that about? King of Pentacles, okay. So, Libra. Oh, I just want to like stretch for a second. It's like I just woke up. It's like I just woke up from like a deep sleep. All right? Maybe some of you need that. Big, deep sleep. So you've been sharing the good news, Libra. Good. I'm happy for that. It's hard though. It's a hard job here. You've had to do some pretty intense things, right? So, and there's King of Pentacles again. Interesting. This is learning to ask for help. This is trusting spirit. This is connecting to your ancestors. It's like enlivening a space. And it's good praise here too. And presently, this is also another card of praise or like happiness. So both of these are hallelujah cards, which Aries kind of used that sentence, I believe, in January, February. Who are your top 2 friends? If you had like a little trifecta here, who's the other 2? Who's your circle, your little circle? There's one that's just like you, that's more like you than the other one. Maybe you look alike or something. Who doesn't make fun of you when you act exactly like you and you don't hold back, like your weirdness? You know what I mean? Who is that? This is also finding like-minded, this is finding people who are on the same page as you emotionally also. Like they believe the same things as you. Not that they have to. We don't have to do that to have people in our life. But it's just like wanting to find more people who believe what you do about, I don't know, what friendship is, what a relationship is, what fairness is, what God is, what truth is. You know, it's maybe that could be for some of you too, where some of you had pulled some judgment calls on like what is acceptable as friends or in a social dynamic. You know, there could have been like, well, I have this whole, you know, something again became a bit smaller, but it's actually better because now there's not like this extra frictional energy. You know, it's like moving away from dishonesty. So Seven of Swords can mean a lot of things. Ever since I found out that one of the oldest French tarot decks called the Seven of Swords, they explained it like where it said vice. Let's see. Queen of Cups, the World, and the Wheel. So if this is potential future, well, some of you have to look at your habits and your friend circles right now and see what's really reliable. If there's any that are too shadowy, too scary, too whatever. This could be anybody really in your life. It could even be family. It's like there has to be some kind of discussion. I do see that it would be, there probably, again, has been people, if this hasn't already happened, then it needs to happen. And this is a conscious thing where you're like, that's not my friend, or they're not treating me right, or things like this. Do you know what I mean? Be aware of it and just move on. They'll trickle away anyway if you... Well, I guess let's put it this way. If you have any friendships or connections in your life where you are the one that has to constantly, like, keep it going, because if you don't, it just becomes messy and stuck, and like you're the one that has to take up the reins all the time to be like, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, how are you? You know, it's then... You know, then it's all good. I would say some of you, it could be helpful also to, there are some big changes going on here in the way you feel and how you connect to other people. And I feel like because you've been becoming stronger in your own truth and honesty, loyalty to yourself, taking that loyalty and all the things that you naturally just give to other people, and finally recognizing that that's also part of your own morals, you know, like, you don't have to explain yourself to people. You just need to disengage at times, okay? It's not escape. I'm not talking about an escapism energy from, like, the difficult conversation or anything. I'm just talking about if it's already been had, it's rolled around, leave it alone, okay? And I do see this more as, again, like, interpersonal energy. Maybe you just want to check in where, I don't know, trust has been broken, or like what kind of friends you have now. And if there's anything, again, where it's just like, you know, it's unhealthy, or you know it's just stuck, then you don't have to keep going back to that. Please don't keep trying to make, if something isn't going, then, well, I see, allow God to take the wheel. You know, like, just trust, okay? Because there could be somebody in the circle that is not honest, or that is faking it. It's like a snake in the grass, okay? Yep. So, you know, I feel like you know. You're not dumb. Okay. That's that. I love you so much. I hope you have a nice moon, or this, whenever this reading finds you, it was helpful. Please take care, and I'll talk to you next time.